Viewers, it's a high voltage drama unraveling in Punjab Congress protest as well. Now, Sidhu has evaded Republic's questions after the confrontation, and we have seen the kind of protest, in fact, where Sidhu had been speaking, after which Republic had confronted him over the infighting that had been going on in Punjab as well. Remember, Punjab is a state that had just gone into elections and where in fact Congress had also lost out, and we have seen that the Aam Aadmi Party Chief Minister had been made, and we were seeing that several Congress leaders had been making statements that it is due to the face of the Chief Minister, that is of Bhagwant Mann, that had been decided upon. Because of which Charanjit Singh Channi that had been decided upon, which is why the party had lost elections as well. And we have seen
Congress leaders are saying this is high voltage drama witnessed in this Congress.
Please. Whatever I have to say, I said it.
Congress leaders are saying this is a fair protest.
Please.
Indiscipline has been created. Indiscipline has been created. Congress leaders are confessing.
Well, we have seen how my colleague, in fact, Amandeep, had confronted Navjot Singh Sidhu, and he had really had nothing to really answer with respect to the kind of infighting that has been going on in Punjab. There are several people of the Punjab leadership of the Congress party who are now coming out and blaming the Chief Minister candidate that they had decided upon before the elections. Amandeep joins us live right now on the broadcast. Amandeep, you confronted Navjot Singh Sidhu there. He had nothing really to say, but we are seeing time and time again that the Punjab Congress leaders coming out and blaming the leadership as well, which is why they lost out the elections in Punjab.
Absolutely, Priyanka. The point is that Congress party is not able to digest the defeat, even in a massive defeat in assembly elections, and that is the reason they keep on blaming each other and putting onus to each other. And Navjot Singh Sidhu versus Charanjit Singh Channi, and even versus Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa. And what happened today is very surprising. Just because All India Congress has organized the protest in all the state offices regarding the fuel hike price, when Navjot Singh Sidhu came here and started addressing the protesters, all of a sudden he jumped to the assembly election results and started blaming Charanjit Singh Channi without taking his name. And in fact, he clearly said in his speech while addressing that due to the recovery by ED from a house of a relative of a leader, that turned to be the big reason for the defeat of the Congress party in Punjab in assembly elections. And all of a sudden, Priyanka, Punjab Youth Congress President Brindar Dhillon interrupted Navjot Singh Sidhu and asked him to take the names or either not to mention this. And in fact, that ruckus was created for a few minutes, and all of a sudden that protest was called off. And later, all the Congress leaders, including Raja Vading, Rana Gurjeet, Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa, they all blame Navjot Singh Sidhu for creating the indiscipline in the protest, just because this was the protest for the against the fuel hike price. And in fact, Navjot Singh Sidhu started speaking on the assembly results, and even that even the Congress leaders confessed that this protest was completely failed due to indiscipline, and requesting All India Congress High Command to kindly appoint one president so that at least the party should be in a very streamlined system and in a very organized manner. And even Priyanka, when we asked certain questions to Navjot Singh Sidhu, he remained silent. He says he has nothing to say. Whatever he wanted to say, he said it from the stage. And in fact, now again we try to question Navjot Singh Sidhu when he comes out from the party office. But the point is that Congress infighting is all in public. I can show you the visuals. This is the protest site where we are standing, Priyanka. Here the protest started by 11 a.m. today, and in fact all the leaders came here, joined the protest despite knowing that they don't have any good bonding with each other. Navjot Singh Sidhu Group 1, Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa Group 2, they both were sitting together. Everyone was addressing the protesters. You can see now the entire protest has been lifted, and in fact they are just clearing this site also. And when Navjot Singh Sidhu was the last one to speak and to address the protesters, and when he started speaking, all of a sudden his frustration comes out, and in fact he started blaming Charanjit Singh Channi without taking his name and certain other leaders when the issue Charanjit Singh Channi versus Navjot Singh Sidhu was going on, and in fact there was no talk about the fuel hike price for which the protest was organized, and all of a sudden Youth Congress President of Punjab Brindar Dhillon interrupt and ask him to name who are the people, don't hide the name. This is how it went all of a sudden, and in fact everything turned upside down. All the leaders decided to lift and finish this protest right away, and in fact quoting it that this protest has been failed due to indiscipline of the Congress party leaders. Yes, Priyanka.
Yes, absolutely, Amandeep. You're breaking down some very important details, and from what you're telling us, it really seems that Congress is not leaving behind their modus operandi of washing their dirty laundry in public and also pointing the finger at each other. And that is exactly what we saw, Amandeep, when you also confronted Navjot Singh Sidhu. I want to thank you for joining us on the broadcast.